What's up, everyone? Jeremy here from MTG headquarters. We're taking a look at the third and final, although if I upload this first, it's the first standard deck. I built this pre-Pro Tour Honolulu or wherever it was in Hawaii, and I think this deck has kind of fallen out of favor a little bit. I think it can be saved. I think it's definitely, I think cards like Stormbreath Dragon and Butcher of the Horde are just too damn strong to just not have their day in the sun. But I think to be truly competitive, you might be looking at a little bit of tweaking. But the land base is just 1 Battlefield Forge, 4 Bloodstained Mire, 4 Cave of Koilos, 2 Mana Confluence, 2 Mountains, 4 Nomad Outposts, which is the Mardu Triland, 2 Swamps, 2 Temple of Malice, 2 Temple of Silence, 1 Temple of Triumph, 1 Urborg, which again, Urborg is great for preventing cards like Cave of Koilos from dealing damage to you, which does matter in certain matchups. Main board, there's 4 Thoughtseize and 1 Despise. So what we really want to do is just clear the way for cards like Goblin Rabblemaster to go off, and Butcher of the Horde, which is a great combo because you can just kill off some of those 1/1 goblins and make them haste, vigilant, lifelink, whatever you need. Butcher of the Horde is extremely versatile. Again, with Despise, you can take a creature or a planeswalker, which is great. And then we go into just your basic 4 Lightning Strikes, 3 Brimez, 4 Heroes Downfall, 4 Goblin Rabblemaster, and again, this is still like a $20 card in paper, so I don't know. I had some N15 booster boxes that I was selling that sold like crazy. I wonder if people are just trying to pull Rabble-Masters. This is $20 at the time of this video, which is the 1020. 4 Crackling Dooms. Again, this is good. Not great. It's a good way to get like 2 damage through. It can be a finisher. It can be, it can get rid of their fatty. It's extremely good. I see it ran less and less. Then you've got 2 Sorin, 4 Butcher of the Horde. And then at the top of your curve, you've got 3 Stormbreath Dragon and 2 Sarkhan, which Sarkhan is basically another Stormbreath Dragon in this deck. I almost never use it to remove things. Extremely rare circumstance where I would. In the sideboard, this is a boilerplate sideboard with 2 Elspeth, 2 Suspension Field, 2 Nyx Fleece Ram, 2 Despise. We've got a couple of Magma Sprays, which are nice. Anger of the God to clear tokens out of the way, and 1 Harness by Force, which again, I think this is just a boilerplate sideboard, because as soon as I built this deck, I think I built this deck the day of or the day after or before Pro Tour, one of the last Pro Tours, and I just fell in love with Abzan. But this is still a deck I think you can build and have a ton of fun. Unfortunately, Goblin Rabblemaster and Sarkhan are still super expensive, and Thoughtseize is still super expensive. So even though at one point this deck was pretty affordable, now it's definitely up there, but it's still a very viable deck. And I don't know what I would board in. With the recent rise of mono green devotion, you may want to think about some end hostilities, but are going to 4 suspension fields, like drop 2 of the Despise and go 4 suspension fields to get rid of their Mana Dorks, or get rid of their Karametras, or get rid of their Arbor Colossus or Pelucranos. All those things are really annoying against this deck. But what's nice about this deck is it really attacks in the air. Like, Goblin Rabblemaster once in a while will overwhelm them, but more often than not, I'm just sacking the Goblins for to make my Butcher of the Horde have haste or vigilance or lifelink, whatever I might need at the time. You could run 4 Stormbreath Dragons and really just try to protect the late game, and that's what I try to do with the Thoughtseize and Despise, is really just clear the way for my creatures. Lightning Strike is great to dome them if you have to, but it's also great to take care of Mana Dorks or things that might be slowing you down. Long game is, if you get in deep into the long game, things like Elspeth Sun's Champion boarded in is nice. You could think about Glare of Heresy in the sideboard now, I think, because Abzan's so popular. You know, and maybe I'd run Glare of Heresy instead of Magma Spray. Or I'd definitely put a Glare of Heresy in there instead of Harness by Force. I like Anger of the Gods still. It's still pretty good. It takes care of... it takes care of a lot of things. What is the card I'm thinking of? The Fleecemane Lion. It takes care of Fleecemane Lion. Takes care of Rabble Masters. It takes care of tokens. If you need to... if you have time to cast it... you know, no, that's not the one I'm thinking of. It deals 3 damage no matter what. So certainly late game, it's a great board sweep because your Butcher of the Horde and your Stormbreath Dragons and stuff like that and your Brimaz all survive it just fine. Goblin Rabble Master does not survive it, but Rabble Master is like one of those things where he's just kind of this engine that you throw out on turn 3 a lot of times and just let it, you know, a lot of times you end up just making your token, it attacks and dies. It attacks and gets killed by by Fleecemane Lion, or it just attacks and dies to stuff. But sometimes it's still a clock out there. It's providing pressure every single turn. If you can, you know, keep a couple of those tokens around, you can swing with the Goblin and get in there for a lot of damage, or at least have a threat big enough to make them block with a Caryatid or something like that, or you can trade it out with a Courser in some cases. It's just super versatile. Sorin, you know, he fits in this deck okay. What I like Sorin for mostly is just creating the 2/2 flyers. Lifelink is an issue because if you're casting so many Thought Seizes, you can really drive yourself down there, and things like your fetch lands and your pain lands. And I mean, there are a lot of times that, you know, most games I'm down to 12 or 13 before they even have done any damage to me. So you got to be careful, and using lifelink is good. And so for that, Sorin is excellent. He's something that people have to deal with because it's just a nuisance. And if you can ultimate him, his ultimate is excellent. I very rarely ultimate him because he gets dealt with pretty quickly, things like Hero's Downfall, etc. But if you can put him out there and get one big lifelink swing, it's great. Put him out there and poop out some vampires, it's also good. I think Stormbreath Dragon will always be around as long as he's standard playable because he's just that good. But if you like Mardu, I think this is a great boilerplate for you to start with. I have a lot of fun playing this deck. I love playing Sarkhan. I mean, he's just so fun. I mean, you could consider dropping 2 Sorin and playing 4 Sarkhan. And, you know, if you need to use Sarkhan as a bigger removal spell often, you know, he gets at a lot of things with 4 damage. So it's something to consider. Again, with my deck techs, this one's a little more dated as standard has shifted a little bit towards Abzan, but you can Abzan or Mono Green, and then Blueback Control is still doing well out there. But I think this is still a very competitive deck, and if you're down with Mardu, then I think this is a pretty sweet place to start. I hope you guys are enjoying these standard deck techs. This is I run 3 standard decks, 2 modern decks. I'm working on a legacy deck, and I'm going to tech them all out for you. And as always, you can watch me play these actual decks on twitch.tv/MTG Headquarters, Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Tuesdays I normally do limited, and Thursdays I'm almost always doing constructed, both modern and standard. So we'll see you there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already, check out some of our most popular playlists, from MTG vlogs, sick gameplay videos, new product breaks, and some insane vintage openings. I upload 3 to 4 new Magic the Gathering videos every week, so if you haven't already, please take a moment to crush that subscribe button to join one of the fastest growing Magic the Gathering channels on YouTube. Talk to you later.